Welcome back to the Sanctuary, Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail, and the newest patch, The Promise of Tomorrow. Chris Valentine here, along with Lord Fireaxe.
Hello.
And Corlash.
Trying to find you.
Can't hear you, Peach.
Trying to find you.
Well, I'm still in the Earth and Sky hideout. The story so far. Unfortunately, during the attack of the machines a second time, we lost Geode. And during the last episode, we kind of mourned his loss. But now we're back in gear, so let's get right down to it for our next quest, A Darkness in the Heart. It's time I went back to locating Calyx's lair. I have a new strategy in mind, but it remains to be seen if it will aid in narrowing down the possibilities. I'll ask Cryo for help. I want to re-examine the data, starting with that of her parents. After all, they were the first to break away from preservation and establish an organized resistance with Oblivion. There must be something in there that can point us in the right direction. What are your plans, Chris?
Chris, is that you? Apologies for calling suddenly. I've been making the rounds in the outskirts, and I cannot help but feel as though something is amiss. Might I ask that you join me? Your perspective would be most appreciated. It can wait until you finish attending to Shale, of course.
It seems your plans have been decided for you. Go on. I have others to speak with before I return to the back room.
Yo.
Oh my god. You just were so desperate to show off your pussy, weren't you? Okay. Where's my mouse? There it is. There we go. And let's fly. I couldn't see. Pull out the STS Fenrir mount to start, and now go to the Rising Phoenix. Oh, we could have teleported.
Yeah, funny that.
Well, we're here now. Sphene?
Chris, thank you for coming. As I mentioned, I would benefit from your worldly experience. Perhaps it is my imagination, but the townspeople appear to be acting oddly. That is, even considering this current state of affairs. As I am yet unfamiliar with the outskirts, I thought you might be better equipped to judge if their behavior is unusual or not. Would you speak with them and see what you think? Though I hope to be proven wrong, I fear something is not right here.
Trembling resident.
Oh, please tell me you brought more neo-regulators. Officially, they've all been handed out already, but I've heard rumors there were a few left over. Surely the government still has some, or perhaps Queen Sphene. I may not look it, but I was a hunter once. Back then, I hardly gave death a second thought. But now that I know the truth, it's all I can think about. There has to be a way to hold on. There has to!
Let's see. Greetings. I remember when you visited with Queen Sphene. Come to check on our well-being, have you? Well, I can say that things are rather stressful out here as well. Without knowing if or when our machinery might turn murderous, the specter of death is ever present. The people are terrified. The clamor for neo-regulators has reached a fever pitch. I personally was fortunate to have claimed a new device early on, and have long since completed the registration. Death has no hold over me now. Now, must begin my prayers. The darkness grows closer, grows deeper, and we must cast it out. What? You didn't notice that. You didn't notice those last few lines, right?
Oh, yes, I did.
Yeah, that sounds like culty bullshit. You're not wearing a regulator? Don't you know the end is coming? Hell, it's your life to lose. Me? I got myself one of those neo-regulators and registered a little while ago. As soon as I did, a display appeared showing the number of registered users. Right now, it's sitting at 4,168. The upper limit was 5,000, wasn't it? Seems the total shot up right after those machine malfunctions. It's only a matter of time before everyone's registered. I pity those who weren't chosen, but I'm going to be an endless. I'm going to evolve and live happily ever after. What was that ship, Fyrax?
Oh, let me pull up in a second. That would be... Where are you? My mounts.
Oh yeah, speaking of mounts, I got a new one yesterday, and just in the last, like, half hour of my shift. Or,
Oh, good.
I mean the last half hour before maintenance.
Good, I know.
Ancient
Which one?
airship.
Oh, cool. Where'd you get it?
It's from the reliquary, the Phantom thing.
Oh, Occult Crescent?
Yeah.
All the more reason for me to get my ass on that. Anyway, Sphene?
So what'd you get?
So, what do you think? Was I right to worry? Tensions are running high. Yes, that's exactly it. The people are overwhelmed by uncertainty and fear. And with each new registration, that fear inside them grows more insistent. How long until it drives them into full-blown panic? Chris, can you come to resolution? We have a problem. I'm already here with Lumity and Alphino. It sounds like she wants us there in a hurry. We should go. Back to Solution 9 with us.
What's happened? Sorry to drag you out here, but I thought it best you see for yourself.
Oh dear.
Death is your constant companion. toil with diligence, death may come ere your reward is bestowed. Though your grand works be poised for completion, death may come ere you wake the following morn. Though you enjoy a life of peace and good fortune, death needs but one instant to claim you. Your bodies are weak. Your heart, your brain, every fragile organ rolls the dice from moment to moment. Sheer chance deciding if they function or fail. Be you stoic or generous or righteous, no virtues tip the scales in that fatal reckoning. The choice is made without reason. The end is cloaked in terror. That is what it means to die.
The announcement began after we finished our meeting with Gossen. As for its source, well...
Calyx.
There is no shame in being afraid. It is that very fear which will drive you to conquer death. Let us set a new course for mankind. Let us preserve our existence unto perpetuity.
This is sounding like cold shit.
Hope for it, wish for it, pray for it. We will become endless. With evolution's brilliance, will we banish the ever-present darkness of mortality.
Change isn't easy. No one ever wants to take the first step. But this is the right path for us. What other way could there be? I'm gonna do it. I'm going to register.
Glamat. You couldn't have come at a better time. Please, you have to let us move to Tuliolal.
It's too dangerous to stay here. Who knows when the next century will turn on us? Even if we wanted to become endless, there are no more neo-regulators to be had. Fleeing is our only option.
If the solution was as simple as leaving, then we'd all have left already. Did you not hear the announcement? For the living, death is a foregone conclusion.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
No matter where we go, or who we shelter with, we won't get another chance like this to overcome our fate.
Easy for you to say when you have that regulator.
The Landsguard are on their way as we speak, and arrangements have been made to see that you all will be safely evacuated. Tulisyola will aid you in whatever way we can. So please, remain calm.
I want to help Alexandria. I want to save its people. But what can I do? I am not their queen.
Oh boy. Sven? Alex has access to the core system, which means that if he chose to do so, he could deploy the soldiers beyond the barrier. Even if our people learn to live with death and decide to leave the dome behind, they will not be beyond his reach. Yet, if it serves to allay their fears even a little,
I beg you, Wuklamat. Please, let them shelter in Tuliolal. We will welcome any and all who want to come. We've already begun evacuations, and will be able to pick up the pace once the Lands Guard arrives. In which case, we had best spread out and keep an eye on the crowds. The mood is tense, and we must prepare for possible violence. If you happen to determine where Calyx is hiding, though, we'll be ready to move at a moment's notice. Surely we'll find a clue of some kind soon. He can't elude us forever. Violence and fear. This is not the future she envisioned for her nation. All right, let's continue.
Yep.
Tuliolal will gladly welcome every last Alexandrian with open arms. But what of the nation the late queen was so desperate to preserve? What of the bright haven of peace and laughter? Wuklamat. I won't stand here and let her legacy be sullied any longer. I will protect Alexandria. That was the promise I made her at the last. But she betrayed you, did she not? Why do you feel this obligation? I saw myself in her, I suppose. We both felt the people's joy as our own. Yet alone, we lacked the strength to protect them. There is so much that I love in this world. Too much for me to take in my arms and keep safe. And that made me afraid. I needed someone who shared that love and fear. So together we could do what we couldn't by ourselves. Or maybe it's simpler than that. Maybe I just wish that we could have been friends. So when she turned to me in her final hour, desperate to safeguard Alexandria's future, I swore that I would see it done. In the end, I think you both found the friend you needed. I would be yours as well, Sven. Whenever you fall or struggle to rise, I'll come running to the rescue. And you'll do the same for me. That's how we'll protect the things we love. That's how we'll protect Alexandria. You're right. You're right. Hey, don't forget about me.
I'm trying to.
Fuck you two.
How could we? We'd not be where we are now without you. Right, we got a bit sidetracked there. We should probably be on our way. Do we patrol or see if Shale needs a hand? There you all are. Goloja. Ah, splendid. We were afraid we'd miss you. Alice and the others said you were here. Good news, Chris. We finally found a chink in Calyx's armor. We discovered laboratories on Everkeep's 10th level that once housed a preservation initiative. Containment Complex 1029 it's called, and it's been falsely registered as a distribution center. In reality, it hasn't recorded any traffic in decades. We don't think this is where Calyx is hiding as such, but it may well contain clues that will point us in the right direction. I'm sorry it took so long just to get this far. If you're interested, what do you say we all go and check it out together? Thank you all for your hard work. This is a huge step forward. And up! We need to take the lift to get to the complex. I've cleared this expedition with the relevant authorities and have one of our people waiting to operate said lift.
Let's not keep her waiting. Let's move. Ready to head on up. Next up, the 10th level. Let's hit it.
So this is one of Preservation's laboratories.
It's so dark I can barely see.
Just a moment. If I can reroute the power to the circuit.
You got the lights working!
Smell how stale the air is. This room hasn't been in use for many years.
It was thanks to Kryl and Galulja that we managed to locate this place.
Mm-hmm.
You may remember that my earring contained the control code for the gate to the Golden City. As it was Preservation that constructed the portal, we reasoned that the code to operate it might include a signature of some sort, unique to their organization.
So I took a closer look, and a line-by-line examination yielded a string of symbols identifying the code's author. We then began accessing the nodes for every door in Everkeep, seeking out control codes which contained those same symbols. After a grueling search, we finally discovered our prize behind door number 1860, the entrance to the facility in which we now stand. I'd probably still be at it if Galulja hadn't been around to assist me.
I took breaks, but Shale never stopped working. Not even once.
She deserves a lot. Sounds like you need one of Janolt's energy tonics.
Those concoctions would probably do me more harm than good, but I appreciate the sentiment. In any case, this next part will require your helping hands.
We need to spread out and search for something that may lead us to Calyx. We're more than happy to help, of course, but I wonder, won't he realize we've found this place?
It's highly likely, and personally I hope he does.
You all know your main objective. We're here to pick up Calyx's trail. And I've learned of a certain device that should help us do just that. I'll explain how as we proceed, but according to the information I was able to dredge up, the device in question should have been installed in the director's office. Now, as for where that might be, yes, this map matches my data. This room we're in is the Researchers' Commons, located in the western side of the complex. The director's office is to the northeast of here. So, we should cut across this circular chamber in the middle, yes? Yes, we should, but... unfortunately for us, the interior door is locked. We'll need a security key with the appropriate clearance to open it. Judging by the mechanism, it'll probably be a card of some kind. Can't you know, work some electro magic? I'll try my best, but this type of lock is well before my time. It may take a while to crack it. And in case I can't, you might want to look around and see if anyone left a security card behind. Considering the state of the place, it does seem like they abandoned it in some haste. I shouldn't be surprised if we found one. Very well. Let's get to searching, shall we? I expect we'll have the most luck looking where the researchers kept their personal belongings. You begin searching Containment Complex 1029. Close cooperation will be necessary to overcome the obstacles barring your path forward. Helpful hints will appear in a different color. Pay close attention to the information provided by your comrades should you find yourself unable to proceed. All right. Let's start. I'm gonna check these half-open desk drawers. This appears to be the only desk with the drawers already open. You can tell at a glance that the desk's former owner has left some things behind. You discover a card-shaped object. The electrode surface is marked with a bold level 1. Oh! Could that be what we're looking for? Try it on the door and see if it opens. A scanning device. The card-shaped object you hold looks to be of a similar size to the scanner panel. You hold the card-shaped object up to the scanner. It's open! You did it, Chris! And a good thing, too. I was getting nowhere with that outdated circuit. I am curious, though. Why would they abandon a facility like this? It was run by a director Demetrius, or so that terminal there told me. Perhaps there are more answers to be had once we venture further inside. Then let's continue onwards. The door to the director's office is across the central hub. I'm gonna read this data terminal right quick. For security reasons, Containment Complex 1029 has been registered as the Materials Distribution Center. Keep this in mind and conduct yourself accordingly both inside and outside the facility. Each employee must perform their tasks within their designated workrooms. The Researchers' Commons, the Proto Lab, or the Deutero Lab. Entrance into another workroom without official clearance is strictly prohibited. Carry your security card at all times. Your clearance level dictates the areas to which you have access. Equip your regulator at all times. Due to the highly confidential nature of the research materials and other data managed within this complex, Preservation retains the ownership of and the rights to modify the memories of all registered personnel. Objectives. Access denied. Please log in with your personal account to review. Complex Director Demetrius, Deutero Lab Chief redacted. Okay. I'm gonna check the other places just to see. Oh, there's a data tablet. Appears to be a researcher's personal data tablet. Let's see. Journal entry 1. Today I began my employment at Preservation. The organization was unfamiliar to me, but when the recruitment letter arrived, I had a gut feeling that this work would be far more fulfilling than any orthodox medical practice. My instincts were correct. Master Calix's philosophy is the refined ideal of notions I've only ever vaguely entertained, that mankind must evolve beyond the shackles of its flesh and blood existence. Wait, was that... Oh, that was journal entry 2. Journal entry 4. I had a meeting with Director Demetrius today. I've heard others praise his genius intellect, yet he seems but a guttering candle in comparison to Master Calix's blinding brilliance. Journal entry number 9. This morning I was permitted to access the top floor and observe the workings of living memory. As predicted, the shortage of ether required to sustain the Endless is reaching critical levels. Yet, Queen Sveen insists on continuing her ineffectual flailing. Entry 14. Our Milala colleagues, including the Protolab chief, have been behaving in a decidedly suspicious manner of late. Should I report my concerns to the director? Entry 18. From tomorrow, I have been assigned to assist with the research project in the Deutero lab. We are scheduled to conduct a major experiment, the details of which I have been kept ignorant. It would seem prudent to back up my memory data. You've reached the end of the journal entries. Okay. And this is why I explore, because otherwise you wouldn't get many of these lore finds. All right, scanning device. You hold the level 1 security card up, but the scanner beeps in disapproval.
No good? Maybe we need a different card. Yes, the scanner is demanding a level 3 security clearance to open the lock. As much as the delay chafes me, I'll have to comb through the nearby rooms and hope we stumble upon the card we need. Let's start our search in the Proto Lab. That door is already open at least. We'll find a way through together, Shale. I'm sure of it.
In retrospect, I probably should have done that first, but...
Seen? The way this room is set up. The canister inserted into that large device looks to be a soul cell. Could this be where they conducted their experiments to create Endless? We could probably spend days investigating this complex. Finding a way into the director's office must take precedence. Speaking of which, Gulolja mentioned a locker over in the corner that he couldn't open. Perhaps you could take a look.
The locker door is shut tight, but the number pad suggests that inputting the correct combination will open it. You have yet to uncover any potential combinations. Perhaps speaking with your comrades will help progress your investigation. Okay. Gulolja.
I dug through this data tablet and found a journal. I'll read it to you. The results of experiment 158 show a marked improvement in ether extraction rates. At last, we have achieved the target value set by Master Calix. Though I will become endless as per our ascendancy protocols, I will preserve this historic number along with my few remaining worldly effects. Preserve the number.
Oh, that was easy. 158. Oops. Select the number keys on the pad to input a combination. Enter up to 5 digits and press the 1, 5, 8. Nope. But we're on the right track, I think. Trial?
This machine feeds into a soul cell. I am reminded of my imprisonment by the Empire. Surely this device wasn't made to hold people.
Shale?
Please excuse my impatience.
The means to track down Calyx are close, and I'm itching to get my hands on them. Sveen? It all looks so complicated. I shall have to ask Shale to teach me how to use these machines. Uklama? These notes seem to be about the research they did in here. Let's take a look. Experiment 148. Submitting inference candidate 201930 to be considered for efficiency procedure review. Experiment 158. Maximum value of 111,509 recorded. Comparative study to be included in the report. All right then. Oh, and one more. Experiment 163. New proposal produced a result of 9834. Decreased value verified. Well, I have no idea what any of that means. Maybe it will make sense later on. Okay, now we know the code. Let's try this again. One 11509. There we go. The locker pops open. Inside, you discover a level 2 security card. Chris, you got the locker door open. And you found another security card. Oh, but does that say level 2? We needed a level 3, didn't we? Yes, but it should still open more doors for us to explore. You did well, Chris. These preservation members led such surprisingly normal lives. Leaving notes, losing their cards. I guess I imagine they'd be more... what's the word? Bloodless? Mechanical? My parents were once part of preservation, if you'll recall. It would seem the researchers who agreed with Calyx and his philosophy underwent the conversion to endless entities. But I assume those who could not, or would not, eventually left the organization altogether. Oh, I almost forgot. The researchers kept journals in their data tablets. The one I read doesn't explain much, but something big happened in the complex. And afterwards, it was decided that everyone would become endless. The writer was really happy about this. You can tell how much they admired Calyx and his work. The entries ended after that, but maybe you can read more in the other tablet there. Right. Let's move this investigation to another room. Well, we have the Deutero lab and the maintenance facilities left to search. Both are accessed via the southeast corridor. So it's back to the hub and the locked door across the way, which will hopefully yield on before our new security card. I'll take the old one if you like. I doubt we'll have any more use for it. Firex, where did Corlash go?
Oh, his headphones died.
Oh, okay. Understandable. Alright, let's scan the device. Scanning, yep, let's get the security card. Boom. Yes! It opened! So, where should we go first? The Deutero lab or facilities? Let's start with the lab. Hey, babe.
Hey.
I thought you were done.
No, not yet. Gloja? Shale, there doesn't seem to be any power here. No, none at all. It's possible the energy supply for this room is on a separate conduit. which means there should be a contingency for opening the door. Look here. There's a sign above the card scanner. In case of emergency, backup power can be rerouted from facilities. The facilities room is down the other branch of this corridor. Let's see about getting power restored to the Dawntrail lab, shall we? Alright, on to the Dawntrail lab. Any information here that I should check out before we continue? Nope, doesn't look like it. Shale? Engaging power supply. No good. It's returning an error. There must be a preliminary procedure. According to this error code reference, if the power supply has been interrupted for an extended period of time, then we need to reconfigure both the emergency generator and the circuit control panels. Shale, that's the emergency generator over there, isn't it? Yes. And by the looks of it, it's the same model as the one used in Heritage Found. But how does it send power to the other lab? Ah, I see. The energy cable attached to the base of this terminal leads down the hall, directly to the Dawntrail lab. Which means we need a way to connect the generator to that cable. What about these patterns on the floor? Could this be the circuit we need to reconfigure? I believe you have the right of it. Using the control panel set into each of the tiles, we create an unbroken path for the power to flow. But I wouldn't give for an instruction manual. Indeed. If you could look around for any written procedures, I'll keep digging through the terminal's directories. Might I also ask someone to operate the generator? I can do it. I've used that type of machine before. Then would you be willing to try and reconfigure the circuit path, Chris? The rest of us can help by supplying Chris with whatever information might be found on the circuitry configuration. I think I already know how this is gonna work, considering the shapes. You must arrange the 4 tile patterns in the correct positions. Access the control panels and reconfigure the circuitry. We'll start with the diamond. Wait, what did it say? The circuit remains unchanged. The pattern you selected is the same as the one currently displayed. Oh, okay. All right, I get you now.
What do you get?
Okay, so you have to change the circuits. It's like one of those pipe dream puzzles.
It's a sliding plate puzzle.
Not necessarily a sliding plate, but this one needs to be diamond. I'm pretty damn sure of that. This one needs to be circle. And then this one needs to be diamond. Or wait, no. Hold on. Kuklamat? Chris, take a look at this diagram.
Yeah.
Oh, I see it now.
Okay, I said, do you want some advice, or do you think you can work it out yourself?
I think I can work it out. There's a note on the bottom left about backup power. Configure the 4 circuit control panels to provide an uninterrupted path. These symbols must represent the room we're in. If that square in the top left is Shale's terminal, then the bottom right should be the generator that Golozhar is working on. It's hard to make out the rest. Assuming these are 4 tile patterns, the bottom right is a square In the top right is half a circle. That's something to get you started at least. Yep, and it got me the rest of the way. Square it is. Boom.
Or you could just...
Loja? The generator doesn't seem to need any fancy settings. As long as it's running and the circuit is fixed, we should have a power supply ready to go. Sveen? I was able to glimpse part of a warning sign behind the containers. From what I could make out, it said, "Caution, circuit will not function with duplicate patterns." I suppose that means only one of each circuitry pattern can be set at the same time? Ah. Okay, so we don't need this one, so... Oh! Connected all the circuits. Cool.
Yeah,
I figured it
I
out.
I didn't bother talking to any of them. If you just look at the actual tiles, you can see there are two going up and to the right, and two going up and to the left.
It worked! We did it, Chris! The Dawntrail lab should now be fully powered. Well done, everyone. If I may, Shale, could we access a certain data log before moving on? I was checking the storage shelves, and one of the labels caught my eye. Preservation, the Early Days is the title. Of course. It'll only take a moment to bring up the contents. Ah, it looks to be a text-based account. I'll read it out. Preservation, an Alexandrian Institute for Technological Development, was founded by Calix, an 11-year-old child prodigy. Approval for establishing this organization came during Alexandria's involvement in the storm surge, with Calix's designs for new defensive solutions funded in large part by the Treasury. As the conflict grew in intensity and casualties mounted, Calix funneled Preservation's resources towards the perfection of memory storage. Research into this field continued even after the storm surge came to an end, with Calix eventually electing to preserve his own memories in a virtual domain. So this account is from before he embraced his endless existence, hundreds of years ago. I met him only once, before the storm surge began. I was attending my father, who was then the reigning king of Alexandria. Calix could not have been more than 10 years of age, and required constant treatment for his debilitating illness. Yet still he published theories so highly regarded that even the royal family was aware of his achievements. Life should not be lost to the injustice of death. Even now I can hear the single-minded will behind his words. So it was that when war came to our kingdom, my father was quick to commit his unwavering support to this somber youth in his proposals for preservation. Several years later, the ensuing violence brought the death of both my parents. Overwhelmed as I was by my son's succession to the throne, I suspect they spared me the reports on endless research and other less urgent matters. So you had no way of knowing what kind of person Calix was changing into. Did he change? I wonder. Perhaps he has ever been the type to value ideals over compassion, and I failed to see it at the time. Or perhaps he did change, but is still driven by those same deeply held beliefs. That mortality is cruel and unjust, and his role is to deliver mankind from his fate. Whatever the case may be, we cannot allow him to shape our future. Let's press on, shall we? If I've done my job correctly, the door to the Dawntrail lab should be accessible now. I'll give everything a once-over just to be sure. Shale? The energy current seems stable enough. Still, you should let me handle this one. The security card, if you please. Oh, and a quick prayer that a shorted wire doesn't burn me from the inside out. More tacos. All right. Let's continue with one more quest. Right. I'll get this door open. Phew. Smooth as silk. Let's head inside and see what awaits. Gods above! Isn't that... the key to interdimensional fusion? That looks to be a schematic on the monitor. And they've used it to make another key. But isn't it missing the shard inside like the one Chris has? Ah, we may have been laboring under a misconception. The key was originally a Milala relic. Once this treasure came into its possession, preservation began working to harness the power to cross dimensions. Aside from the crystal, we can see that all the vessel's components were constructed here. So what might that tell us? This is just the device they made to control it. That would be the logical conclusion, yes. It is as my parents explained. The key remains shrouded in mystery. Preservation augmented it with electrope, but never grasped the technology's underlying principles. To this day, not a single person understands the mechanics of interdimensional fusion. Not who imbued the key with its power, not when they did so, nor why. Now it makes sense. Calyx can track the key because its vessel was made by preservation. I believe there is much we may learn in this room. On our next visit, I will have to enlist Shola's assistance for a thorough investigation. I too am curious about a great many things, but pinning down Calyx's whereabouts is our priority. Hopefully there is a security card here that grants access to the director's office. The search conducted in this lab appears to have been highly confidential in nature. Some of the personnel must have belonged to the organization's upper echelons, and that means higher security clearance. We should spread out and look for any cards they left behind. Remember, anything less than a level 3 is no good to us. All right, let's check this storage crate. Nope. Shelving unit? Nope. Cabinet drawer? Most likely. There it is. Oh, did you just find the security card? Well, that's a stroke of luck. Let's have Shale examine it to be sure. Shale? Well, it is exactly what we needed. Nice work, Chris. Oh, a level 3! That should get us into the director's office. So, what was it you were hoping to find in there again, Shale? You were saying that a certain device was going to help us. Right. I haven't properly explained myself, have I? I'm looking for a data relay. After After we discovered this ostensibly abandoned complex, I performed a cursory investigation which detected a connection to an outside network. When I traced the data's routing, I confirmed traffic from a web of Everkeep's security cameras. Considering the way Calyx is always one step ahead of us, we must assume he's quietly seized control of the city's surveillance system and has been using it to monitor our activities. To monitor what you, as the key holder, are planning. But since Calyx is the ultimate recipient of those transmissions, the flow of data is like a river that we can follow back to him. Which is why I need the data relay. If I can analyze the device and see where it's rerouting all of this surveillance traffic, then you can pinpoint Calyx's position. That said, he has done nothing to impede our progress, which makes me think I might be on the entirely wrong track. Maybe the reason he isn't stopping us is because he can't. Back in the old castle, Calyx said he was measuring Chris's strength. What can he possibly dream up that's stronger than him? Oh, speaking of cameras, there was another thing I meant to mention. I found evidence that someone deliberately disabled the surveillance feed in this room. The most recent recording was also crudely deleted. I was able to restore the data though, if you would like to see it. I'll start the show then.
Are you really planning to leave?
Yes. The idea of eternal life. It's begun to frighten me. I struggle to renounce our conventional wisdom. Death is the means by which life prunes its branches, leaving the trunk to grow strong and tall. We die so that our species may flourish. What would become of mankind were we to halt that process? If unending stagnation is the fruit of our labor, then perhaps we strive for the wrong thing.
What's with this dude's freaking hair?
Calyx's vision.
I suppose it is. Perhaps such dread would not plague me, were I capable of sharing his perspective on the subject. But I cannot. He and I are too different, in too many ways. I lack his extraordinary genius. I had no illness threatening to cut my life short, no singularity of will to cut away all distractions and focus solely upon research. I have nothing but respect for his determination. The way he overcame his prognosis and seized the means to transcend death itself. But I'm not convinced that this obsession with living is the right path. That's why I've decided to leave preservation and put all my effort towards building a legacy for the next generation to come. Surely you...
Well...
Protocol, you understand. There can be no exceptions.
Well, fuck. She only wanted to leave and he executed her? I checked the images against the personnel data, and the man who pulled the trigger was Director Demetrius himself. Everything I could find on him pointed to a deep infatuation with Master Calyx. The cameras in this room have been out of operation ever since that incident. Given that the recording was erased, I can only assume he was trying to conceal his grisly deed from the other researchers. I am not surprised, given how my parents described their defection from the Institute. They spoke of rushing me through a portal, even as Preservation's agents closed in on them. I dared not ask what became of them after that. But if it turns out they were captured by their pursuers... They did not regret their actions. Right. The Echo. Knowing you saw them as they were, your words gave me great comfort. Oh, Cryle. Worry not, Sveen. Thanks to the Haven of Living Memory, I was at least able to meet my parents and learn what they stood for. It is enough for me to carry on. Even now, we don't know how the conflict unfolded between your parents and Preservation. But what we do know is that your mother and father cleverly expunged every last trace of their movements. They made sure no one could cross into the source or threaten their child's safety. Right. Let's press on, shall we? This tale behind the key deserves a fitting conclusion. To the director's office! Yes, finally, we're getting to the big parts. Let's scan. There we go. Let's head inside. Now to find that data relay. And don't be shy, everyone. Speak up if anything odd catches your eye. Chris, come with me. I might have need of that security card. Shale? Damn. This terminal isn't connected to any outside network, so it can't be the data relay I'm looking for. This office is also smaller than the map has suggested. I'm positive we're in the right room. What am I missing? Sorry, Chris. Could I ask you and the others to search the office for any clues to this infuriating puzzle? All right. We'll start from here and work clockwise. Laddered side table. Amongst other personal effects, you find what is presumably the director's data tablet. A closed locker stands next to the table. You pick up the data tablet and begin skimming through the contents. Daily reports. Nothing of note. The mystery of the key's activation condition remains unsolved. The key triggered an explosion today. Temporary interdimensional portal verified. Continue attempts to stabilize the core's energy reactions. 13 researchers sustained fatal injuries in the explosion. Memory faculties of 4 personnel sufficiently intact for endless conversion. Remaining 9 designated for ether reclamation processing. Nothing of note. Rejected resignations of 2 Milala researchers. Major incident. Details in full report. Those 2 inept Milala broke with Preservation and absconded with the key. Though the fugitives have since been caught and eliminated, we were too late to recover the relic. The only reason we retained our flesh was to serve Master Calyx as physical instruments to conduct his experiments. Deprived of the object of our research, our existence serves no further purpose. I dare not imagine the depths of his disappointment in me. The complex is to be shut down. All personnel will have their bodies reduced to ether, which will be allocated for further experimentation. Memory data will be archived. Any endless conversions will be subject to Master Calyx's discretion. If he does not deem us fit, then we are not deserving of eternal life. Shutdown protocols. All personnel have undergone processing. Once the shutdown protocols have been completed, I will proceed with my own corporeal dissolution. As long as the key remains in the physical world, we must keep this complex in pristine condition. Whether it be needed for experiments or otherwise, it must be raised to support future operations in whatever capacity Master Calyx requires. To that end, facility equipment will be maintained in stasis mode. Furthermore, a critical component for secure room access will be stored separately to defend against unauthorized entry. Let's see, Cryle?
Something is strange about this wall. I could have sworn it flickered for a moment there. Seems solid enough now.
Oh dear. Sven?
Shale says this room is too small. How could that be?
Storage case. The collection of soul cells may have once belonged to the director. They appear to be empty. Shelves. You find a crumpled note wedged between the file binders. Secure room lift access. Requires passwords to be input simultaneously at terminals in the Proto Lab, the Deutero Lab, and the Director's Office. Uklama?
Does this display do anything else?
Beverage station. Having lain dormant for years, the now active coffee maker has already entered a self-cleaning cycle. It appears to have no other purpose beyond brewing coffee, though it remains to be seen when it will be able to do so once more. I kind of want to I want a coffee maker like that. It kind of looks like a futuristic Keurig. Hello, Jaja.
These drawers have only big, heavy books in them. I would have filled them with snacks. Oh, but maybe the books are hiding something. I'll check.
Let's open the locker. Oh, that is not creepy at all. Yeah, that wasn't unfucking nerving. Shale?
Have you found something? Thank you. A misplaced note, was it? With instructions for accessing a secured room, no less. Seems we need to enter a password on 3 different terminals at the same time. There was no such room marked on the map, was there? No. A precautionary measure, no doubt. And if passwords are involved, I expect the access lift itself is concealed too. Concealed? By Electrope, you mean? Ah! Could it be that wall? I thought it seemed odd when I walked past. Remember what Kakui used to say, Shale? Never trust an Electrope surface.
Electrope isn't always what it appears to be.
Oh, of course. Electrope is how you alter the look of all of Solution 9's floors and walls, isn't it? In which case, it shouldn't be too hard to disable. Another door! I've managed to deactivate the projection, but the lock is another story. Didn't that note lay out the password protocol? I say we go ahead and try it. I agree. 2 people should prepare the lab terminals for input, while the rest of us look for passwords here in the office. I'll take the Proto Lab. Then I'll take the Deutero Lab. Actually, it might be better if you stayed, Sphene. Your knowledge of Alexandria and its people could be needed here. Yes, you're right. If the passwords are hiding behind clues, that may be something I can help with. I can help too. I've lived my whole life in Alexandria after all. I will take the Deutero Lab duty then. We can keep in touch via communicator to match our timing. Chris, you shall have the honor of entering the office password. Once we've determined what we need to input, take your place at this terminal. I'll stand by to guide Wuklama and Cryle through the process. You'll know there was that display plate over there, the one with the gems. I thought since it was made of electrope, it might have some other purpose. But I couldn't find any switches or buttons to make it do anything. Maybe you can figure it out. It's missing something. Two jewels are embedded in this electrode plate. You identify the blue one as sapphire and the red gem as garnet. There also appears to be an empty slot for another jewel to fill. Can I posit a theory? Or at least say something really quick? I will be so pissed if it turns out that the other gem is a fucking Alexandrite. Let's see. Understood, Shale. But first I need to find a stool or mayhap a sturdy box. Poor Cryle. Being a Lalafell does not do... Being a Lalafell can do wonders for, you know, magic and dodging attacks, but it does nothing for the workings of panels that are that are above 2 feet. So I just press this, and next is that one, right? Hey, this isn't so hard.
Okay.
All right. Let's check this cluttered side table again. Open the creepy ass locker. See if we can't find anything inside. I should take a closer look at these reports. One of them might have hints to the passwords. I kept searching the drawers with the books and found a cube puzzle made of electrope. It's probably just a toy, but maybe... Let's solve the puzzle. You got it. Let's see. If I move this bit, then connect this circuit to that one. There! Huh? There was something inside. Oh, you've gotta be fucking kidding me! Son of a cuck! Oh, it's a pretty green stone. I think it might be Alexandrite. They say these gems were so treasured in the past that they named the kingdom after them. Here, you should hold on to this one just in case. I'm pissed now. I am so pissed.
The gemstone fits snugly into place. Almost immediately afterwards, the glowing lines of a diagram appear on the display, accompanied by a short phrase. This could represent a floor plan of the complex. As you continue studying the display, you realize that these shapes correspond to the rooms of the complex in which you now stand. This may be related to the passwords you were looking for. Proto Lab. Barnett is Jupiter Lab. Yes, I knew that jewel would come in handy. Let me see. Heed the stones. This must be about the special meanings Alexandrians have for gems. It's an old belief, I think, where each type of gem means something different. I bet if you asked Fiend, she could tell you more about it. After all, even her name comes from a gemstone. Alright, Sven? Yes? If you have questions, you need only ask. What's the symbolism of Alexandrite? Well, I was taught that Alexandrite represents the concept of protection. It is, incidentally, also the origin of Alexandria's name. Oh. Are you thinking this has something to do with the passwords? A sapphire and garnet as well, you say? Yes, they all have meanings. Alexandrite, as I said, is protection. Sapphire represents honesty, and garnet symbolizes devotion. We should try these words at the terminals and see if they're accepted. I certainly hope we're right. All right, let's do it. We're all set to go. We're all set to go here. Wuklama and Kryl are just waiting on their passwords. Let's start with Wuklama in the Proto Lab. What word I cannot do that. What word should she enter? All right. Looking back on my notes. The Proto Lab was to the left, which means it was the sapphire. So the sapphire represents honesty. And the password for Kryl in the Deutero Lab? The garnet is devotion. And lastly, what will we input for the director's office? Protection. Right. We have all three passwords ready. Now to enter into the system at the same time. Yes! Oh, I'm so glad that worked. That secure room is the only place we've yet to search. If the data relay is anywhere, it has to be there. We'll venture in as soon as Wuklama and Kryl rejoin us. Yes, let's get in there, because this is dragging on. All right, everyone. Time to board the lift and see what awaits us.
This terminal doesn't look special to me, but this is definitely what we're after?
It is, but whether or not it will suffice for our purposes is another question.
Very well.
The Endless are created using the memories of the deceased. But as memories are, in essence, collections of data, the resultant entities have no physical form. These data entities, as we might call them, have only two methods for interacting with the material world. One of these we saw in Living Memory, where the Endless are granted temporary bodies through the use of corporeal ether. They become much like solid ghosts that one can see and touch. The other method, which Kafkiwa employed, is the remote operation of a machine. But where do you suppose the Endless are to be found when not inhabiting a physical body?
The Endless are memories, and if memories are data, then...
In a world formed of data?
Yes, we suspect they reside in a virtual domain, one contained entirely within an electrope-based machine. We've seen such a realm before, after all.
Oh, you mean like the Alexandria made from the Endless Fiend's memories? It all seems so real.
So this virtual domain, it would also be housed within the Meso Terminal.
But how? I thought we shut down all the terminals in Living Memory.
You did. And Kafkiwa's program performed just as she intended. The Meso Terminal itself was deactivated, as evidenced by the failure of the device which was keeping Spheen's body in stasis. Be that as it may, we face a master of electrope engineering. That he managed to partition and protect a sector harboring his own memories is well within the bounds of possibility.
Well, shit.
Let us say that the Meso Terminal does indeed contain a second domain, and that Calyx himself resides there. This city, on the other hand, exists here in the Source. That being the case, I thought perhaps we could prevent his remote interference by closing the gate to the Golden City, and thus severing the connection between worlds.
Except I tried to close it once already when I visited Living Memory. The process required administrative authorization, a restriction I assumed at the time had been imposed by the Queen.
But now you think Calyx might be responsible.
Just as I suspected. Even now, security transmissions from throughout the keep are being tapped by the core system and routed elsewhere. Almost every single one has you as its
We're probably gonna have to call it at some pretty
keeping
soon.
track of the
Yeah,
key
we're
holders'
gonna
movements.
call it in a bit.
Time's up, and what a waste of time it's been.
Well, hello, fucker.
Hoping to find me by tracing security data? That will not be necessary. Through a not inconsiderable effort, I've taken your measure and prepared a force sufficient to subdue you. Come. I invite you to the upper reaches of the Meso Terminal. The storage device which holds my memories is there. Break the memory bank and victory is yours. I, in turn, will seek to wrest the key from you with any and every means at my disposal.
And if we refuse this invitation?
I will wait and continue to convert Alexandrians into Endless. consider the urgency of the situation and make the wiser choice.
Answer me one question, Calyx. The Endless Fiend. When she was queen, you had her face an impossible task, then manipulated her into using the key when she was at her most desperate. If you can do all that, then why not whisk it away when her plans went to ruin? Why let it fall into our hands?
You pour salt in the wound. That disaster was a miscalculation on my part. As her end drew near, Sphene and her restructured memories had become one with the terminal's control systems. In that singular place, in that singular moment, she wielded an authority greater than mine. Thus she was able to shield you, the neighboring sovereign to whom she entrusted her nation's future, and the hero to whom she entrusted that priceless key. I am unsure to what degree she perceived my presence, but she knew that someone was watching. Does that satisfy your curiosity?
It does. And I'm satisfied that you will take nothing more from this nation. Not one more life, not one more future, not one single smile from another child's face. You hear me?
Well, fuck you too, buddy.
Sorry for losing my temper, but there's only one way we can deal with people like Calyx.
Shove him in a locker?
Whatever grand future he envisions, someone will be made to pay the price. And I won't let that happen.
Let's plan our next move.
If I may, I realize it is not my place to say this.
Get on with it.
Even so, I must thank you both. On behalf of my other self, allow me to say how grateful I am to have you as our champions.
And back in Solution 9. Phew. Well, that was an adventure. It may not have been by the method Shale was hoping for, but at least now we know where to find Calyx and what we need to do next. Indeed. While I remain curious about Preservation's research into the key, that is an investigation for another day. Then let's head straight to the back room. We should get everyone on the same page before we make our move. Yes, please transport us to the back room as well, because I don't feel like running all that way and padding out this episode. And you're gonna make me pad out this. Oh, never mind. You're not gonna make me pad out this episode. Shale? Damn that bastard Calyx. He waited until I was this close before snatching away my moment of triumph. And the infuriating, condescending way he spoke to us. We'll see whose time is up, you smug little weasel. Anyway, I know things didn't go to plan, but we learned a great deal about preservation. That knowledge could come in handy in the days to come. Though I may not be able to contribute much to a direct confrontation, I mean to see this through with you all, providing whatever support I can. Well, the next quest we do will be one of our own, but we are going to call it for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow with more streaming. For now, though, if you're watching on Twitch, stay tuned for final announcements. If you're watching on YouTube, here are the links provided.